Okay, so in this session we will discuss about one important lab topic, lab experiment, that is interfacing LCD to LPC2148. Okay, so we will interface one LCD device to LPC2148 and we will display a string. Okay? And this experiment deals with one protocol which is called I2C. Okay? So what we will interface here? We will interface an LCD which can support I2C communication. Okay? So what is this I2C actually? See here, I2C is which is nothing but inter-integrated circuit. Okay? The expansion of I2C is I2C we will call. So inter-integrated circuit is a serial bus interface connection protocol first invented by Philips. So what is it? It is a serial bus interface connection. Okay? So using this I2C protocol, we will communicate, we will achieve communication between two devices. Okay? So communication for data transfer. For example, here is a simple uh, depiction of this I2C. So there are two devices. Okay, one device we will call master, and the other device we will call slave. Okay, so these two devices are connected with two connections. One is SDA, second one is SCL. SDA stands for serial data. SCL stands for serial clock. Okay. So this connection, SDA connection, will send data, okay, from master to slave or from slave to master. It is a two-way connection. And well, SCL, that is serial clock, will supply the clock. Okay. So here master will be the source of the clock. Right? So one thing you need to know is that using I2C protocol, we can send the data from one device to another device. So here from master to slave using a single connection. Okay, single data connection. So that is important. So here in this experiment, in interfacing I2C LCD to LPC2148, so what we will do is we will give one single connection from LCD to LPC2148, and using I2C protocol we will send the data, okay, from this microprocessor to LCD. Okay, I will show you the circuit diagram of our experiment. So this is our circuit diagram. Okay, so here as you can see, fine. So here is the LCD device and here is the LPC2148, and what is that? You are having two connections. Okay, one connection stands for SDA, another connection stands for SCL. Okay, so this P0.2, so here P0.2 carries the SCL and P0.3 carries SDA, that is data. Okay, P0.2 carries clock and P0.3 carries data. Okay, these are the designated ports P0.2 and P0.3 for I2C communication. Okay, so only there are two connections. These two connections are going to some other device, and from here you are having this LCD connection. So here what you have to observe is how many connections are coming out of this LPC2148. Okay, there are only two connections. Okay, so rest of the things are unnecessary. Here what you need to observe is how many port pins we are using. Okay, how many port pins we are using for sending the data that is to be displayed on LCD. In previous experiments, we have okay uh, experimented with 8051 and also with the same LPC2148, where we have used 8 data pins, right? So to connect this LCD, what we have done, so from D0 to D7, all 8 okay, pins are connected to 8 port pins. Okay? All these 8 data pins of LCD are connected to 8 port pins, and also RSRWE. These are the control pins of LCD. These are also connected to additional 3 more pins of this LPC. Okay. Totally, it is consuming 8 plus 3, 11 pins. 11 port pins are consumed for a single LCD. It is most unrealistic case. Even if you are going for a 4-bit mode of LCD, okay, this LCD can be operated in two modes, right? One is 4-bit mode, like it is shown here, and also you can use 8-bit mode also. Even if you are using 4-bit mode, you need 4 plus 3, okay, 7 port pins to be exclusively employed for uh, this data transfer between LPC2148 to LCD. Okay, so it is the most impractical way of connecting any device to ports. Okay, so this in most of the systems, okay, microprocessor port pins are very precious resources. There are many peripherals need to be connected to this microprocessor. Okay, if, if a single LCD device can consume okay this many number of port pins, what about the other peripherals? Okay, so to avoid this difficulty, okay, to avoid this unnecessary consumption of the port pins, unnecessary usage of the port pins, we can use I2C protocol. Okay, we can use I2C protocol to connect the device, peripheral device to microprocessor. The important advantage is that you need only 2 port pins. Okay, instead of 11 pins or instead of 7 pins, you are only going for 2 pins on the microprocessor end. On the LCD end, okay, on the LCD end, you can use either 8 pins or you can use 4 pins also. You can go for 4-pin mode or 4-bit mode, or you can go for 8-bit mode. Okay, whatever the mode on LCD side, but on micro controller side, you are only having 2 connections. This is the biggest advantage of A2C. Okay, but uh, one important thing to be noted is that while this is advantageous, okay, but on the peripheral side, okay, in this case LCD, on the peripheral side, this peripheral must support I2C communication. Okay, this peripheral must support I2C communication. Support means it should have necessary hardware circuit, okay, to handle I2C communication. Okay, so this our conventional LCD, this doesn't support I2C. Okay, it doesn't have necessary hardware built inside to support I2C. Okay. So that's why we are going for another component. Okay, so this is the component, okay, which is PCF8574. Okay, it is an IC. Okay, this IC will be using in between this microcontroller and this LCD, so that LCD can handle I2C. Okay, so what is that? The purpose of this component is to handle I2C communication on behalf of LCD. Okay, that's why it is called I2C driver, I2C driver for LCD. Okay, so on the microcontroller side, that is LPC2148, it has got inbuilt I2C hardware. It has inbuilt I2C hardware. That's why there are two dedicated pins, P0.2 and P0.3. These are actually GPIO port pins, but we are using them using alternate functionality. Okay, I told you many port pins will have, all the port pins will have alternate functions. Okay, to handle I2C is one of the alternate function of these two port pins. While P0.2 will act as SCL, P0.3 will act as SDA. Okay, so this LPC2148 will have inbuilt I2C hardware, and while this LCD will use, okay, this PCF85748 to handle I2C communication. Okay, so I will just simulate this, you will appreciate. So what we have done, we have been displaying MVSR, okay, the string using I2C communication. So this we will see in the experiment, okay, how this is being done. So here, yeah, so this is what the I2C setup, the basic setup, right? So it is a master slave configuration. Okay, I2C will support master and slave. Okay, so master is a device which will supply the serial clock. Okay, whichever device is supplying serial clock, that will act as master. Okay, in most cases the microcontroller will be the master. Fine. So that is what I2C works in two modes: master mode and slave mode. Okay. So there are two ways actually: SDA, that is serial data, and another one is serial clock. Okay, SDA will be used for sending the data, and SCL will be used for sending the clock information for synchronization. So this is another setup. Fine. So here there will be one master, that is microcontroller, and to this master device there are many slave devices connected. Okay, many slave devices. Okay, in our case, in our experiment, we are only using one LCD, but in actuality, there is a possibility that you can use more than one slave device also. Okay, that means all these devices are using the same port pins. Fine. So how the data will be transferred from master to slave? Okay, from one device to another device. Okay, there is a format actually. So this is what the I2C data format. Okay, I2C data format. So here the data will be transferred. So like this, first of all, a start pulse will be issued. Then at the end of the data transmission, a stop pulse will be issued. Okay. So every data communication will commence with a start pulse and will end with the stop pulse. Okay. So once a start bit is issued, then you will have to issue the slave address, okay, to which slave device you wanted to send the data. Okay, you wanted to communicate with it. So you can issue a 7-bit slave address. I told you more than one device can also be connected, right? And once a slave device address is issued, you need to specify whether it is a read operation or write operation. Read operation means you are reading the data from the device. The write operation means you are sending the data to the device. Okay, so if this bit is 0, it is write operation, and if the same bit is 1, it is read operation. Okay, and followed by an acknowledgement. Okay, after issuing the slave address and after issuing the read write information, you need to issue an acknowledgement signal. Okay, so once acknowledgement signal is issued, you can send the data, okay, in multiple bytes. You can send the data in multiple bytes with proper acknowledgement signals. Okay, so in the end you will be sending a stop bit. Okay, so this is what the basic format of the I2C communication, right? So we'll use this information while we are writing the code for our program, for our experiment. Okay. Okay, so this is what the device LPC2148. So here, as you can see here P0.2. P0.2 will have one alternate function, that is SCL0. Okay, and P0.3 is having uh, another alternate function, that is SDA0. Okay, so here P0.3 is acting as SDA and P0.2 is acting as SCL. Okay, so this LPC2148 will support two separate modules. Okay, two separate modules of for I2C communication. Okay, so this one, okay, P0.2, P0. These two port pins will support I2C0. Okay, one module. There is another set of pins. We can come here. Yeah, see here P0.14 is SDA1. Okay, P0.14 is SDA1 and P0.11 is SCL1. Okay, that means P0.11 and P0.14 will support another separate I2C module. Okay, that is the uniqueness of this LPC 2148. Okay? It will support two separate I2C modules. Okay? In our experiment, we are using this one, okay? P0.2 and P0.3. Okay, so yeah, to support this I2C communication, uh, we have a set of registers, okay, inbuilt registers, okay, so using which you can have I2C communication in the experiment. Okay, so we'll just go through them. So the first register is I2C0 concept. I2C0 concept stands for I2C0 configuration set register. Okay, it is an 8-bit register having various meaning to the each one of the bit. Right? So you'll see that, yeah, from the LSB side, 2 bits are reserved. Okay, there is no meaning yet attached to these 2 bits. These are reserved. Then you have the third bit, that is AA. Okay, assert acknowledge. Okay, I told you, after the data transfer of each byte, you need to send an acknowledgement pulse, right? So this is the way you will send the acknowledgement pulse. Okay, if this bit is set to 1, okay, if this bit is set to 1, an acknowledge is issued from master to slave. Okay, when set to 1, acknowledge or SDLO is returned during acknowledgement clock pulse on SCL. Okay, so otherwise not acknowledge is returned. Okay, and bit number 4, okay, bit number 3, 4 or bit number 3, since this is starting from 0, right? So the bit is nothing but SI stands for serial interrupt. Okay, serial interrupt. So whenever the transmission is complete, data transfer is complete, this bit is set. Okay, this bit is set by the system. Okay, by monitoring this bit, you can ensure that the data is properly sent to the slave device. And the next bit is a stop bit. Okay, the next bit is stop bit. So uh, you will set this bit whenever you are ending the transmission. Okay? This is the last bit. This is the last bit to be sent, which is nothing but the stop bit. Okay? The arrival of the stop bit indicates complete data transfer is over. And the next bit is the start bit. Okay, so in order to commence the I2C communication, first you will send the start bit, right? So this bit you will set to start the transmission. Then there is another bit, I2C enable. Okay, so this bit should be set to have I2C setup to be enabled. Okay, unless this is set, nothing, no bit will be effective. Okay, first of all you need to set this one. Okay, I2C enable, that is enabling the I2C communication. Fine. Yeah, next register, complementary register is I2C0, that is clear, configuration clear register. I2C0 configuration clear register. So in the using previous register you can set the bits, and using this register you can reset the bits. Okay, for example, asset acknowledgement flag clear. Okay, in order to clear the acknowledgement flag bit, you will use this one. Okay? In order to clear the serial interrupt bit, you will use this one. Okay, if you can set this bit, serial interrupt flag bit will be clear. It will be set by the system, and the same bit can be cleared using this register manually by the program. Okay, and this is the reserved bit, and this is what uh, start flag clear. See here, bit number 5 is nothing but start flag clear. Okay, setting this bit clears the STA bit in I2C0 concept register. Okay, and stop bit will be cleared. Stop bit is not mentioned here. Stop bit will be cleared by the system itself. Okay, and here the last one is I2C enable clear. Okay, so once you clear this bit, I2C setup will be disabled. Okay, you will be doing this in the end of the transmission, right? So this is what the complementary register for I2C0 concept. And there is one more register using which uh, you can know the status of the communication. Okay, status of the communication. So it is again 8-bit register, but bit number 3 to bit number 7, you can have uh, status information. Okay, so this register uh, will give you various status codes. Okay, using this register you can get various status codes, and whose meaning I will just show you. The meaning of all these status codes is given in this. Okay, so there are various status codes. I will just go through one of them, one or two of them. So if you are reading I2C status register, and if the status code is 0x08, okay, if the status code is 0x08, then what is that? A start condition has been transmitted. Okay, a start condition has been transmitted. That means I2C communication is initiated. Okay, and the status code also means that load slave address plus read rate pulse into I2C date to transmit it. Okay, so once the start condition is issued, what is the next action? You need to load the slave address followed by load the read rate bit. Okay, whether read operation or write operation you have to mention, right? So bits belonging to this information must be loaded to I2C date. Okay, once you receive this 0x08 on status register, you have to load slave address and read rate pulse in the I2C date register. Okay, once that is loaded into I2C data register, then it will be automatically transmitted. Okay, so that is how. Then see another 0x18. Another code is 0x18. What is that? Previous state was 0x08. Okay, or 0x10. It is a repeat code actually. Okay, so SLA plus read rate has been transmitted. SLA is slave address. Okay, slave address and read rate bit has been transmitted, and acknowledgement has been received. So all this is the meaning of this status code. Okay, and also the status code indicates the first data byte will be transmitted. Okay, what the system is expecting, once 0x18 status code is received by the program, the system is expecting the first data byte to be transmitted. Okay, once you send the data bit, then immediately an acknowledgement bit will be issued. Okay, so you have to use these status codes. You have to use these status codes while you are doing I2C communication. Okay, these are important things to track the data transfer between the devices. Okay, so we'll use the status codes while writing the program. Okay, well, there is another status code 0x20. Okay, what is that? Slave address and read date has been transmitted, but not acknowledged has been received. Okay, not acknowledged has been received. Hence, it might be the end of the data transmission, so that a stop condition should be transmitted. Okay. So like this, there are numerous status codes. Fine. I will go back to the main sheet. So this is what. Okay. So I2C0 status register. Okay. So all the status codes will be embedded in this bit number 3 to bit number 7. Okay. And there is another register I2C0 data register. So this is the register responsible for carrying the data. Okay. Then there are two registers associated with the clock. Okay, one register will call I2C0 SCL low. Okay, I2C0 SCL low duty cycle register, and the second register is I2C0 SCL high duty cycle register. Okay, so duty cycle of the clock. Okay, duty cycle of the clock will decide the speed of the clock. Okay, so here while you are using I2C communication, it has got its own clock information. Okay, the communication is not according to the processor clock. Okay, it should be dropped down. Okay, it should be dropped down. It should be correctly configured. Okay, so you can have correct okay clock pulse using these two registers, that is duty cycle registers. Okay, both are 16-bit registers. Right? Both are 16-bit registers. See here, so this is what the duty cycle. So here in this case it is 50% duty cycle. 50% duty cycle. Okay, so this is what SCL high time, and this is what SCL low time. Okay, so you will use these two registers to define the width of these two lanes. So this is the formula to be used. What should be the value of those two registers? Okay, SCL low and SCL high. Okay, so here in this case, if you can assume okay peripheral clock to be 30 megahertz. Okay, peripheral clock to be 30 megahertz, and the desired bit frequency, the desired frequency I2C frequency to be 300 kilohertz, then the duty cycle you will get is 50%. Okay, so how? So 30 megahertz divided by this. Okay, SCL low plus SCL high, and on bit frequency 300 kilohertz. Okay, so 300 kilohertz is equals to 30 megahertz by this one. Okay, if you can properly convert this, you will have I2C0 SCL is equals to I2C0 SCLH is equals to 50. Okay, so this value you will get 100. This value you will get 100. Then the low value and high value will be each 50. That means you are getting 50% duty cycle. Okay, so you have to load SCLH register with 50 and SCL low register with 50. And one more register is I2C0 address register. Okay, slave address register. So there are many devices you can connect to the master. So each device will have an address, and the address of the device will be stored in this register, right? I2C0 address register. Okay, now we will come to the program. Okay, So first of all, we will define, okay, the bit fields with the meaningful names. Say for example, asset technology is defined as 2. That means second pin. Okay, second pin of uh, this one. See, I2C concept register. Say here 0, 1, 2. Okay, this second pin, pin number 2. Okay? Pin number 2 belongs to asset technology. Pin number 3 belongs to SI. Pin number 4 belongs to STO. Pin number 5 belongs to STA. Pin number 6 belongs to I2C enable. Okay, so same pins we will define here in this program. Okay, the same pins are defined here. Now there is a simple, okay, wait period. Okay, simple wait period. Wait will depend upon the count value you will load into this wait function. Okay, then coming to the function. Okay, so before starting the main, we will define several functions. Okay, so yeah, first one is void I2C init. Okay, initializing the I2C. The main, okay, purpose of this function is initializing the I2C module. Okay, so in this function there are a couple of lines. Fine, so we'll go to this. So first line is what? VPB div is equals to 0x02. VPB div is a register in LPC2148 which we call VLSI peripheral bus divider. Okay, VLSI peripheral bus divider is a register, and this register is used for configuring, okay, the peripheral clock. Okay, so if you load this number 0x02, what it will do, the clock frequency will be divided by 2. Okay, the clock frequency will be divided by 2. So in this case it amounts to 60 megahertz. Okay, so this information you can gather from data sheet of LPC2148. Then the next one is pin cell 0, pin function select. What we said, we are using P0.2 and P0.3 for I2C communication, right? So accordingly, you need to load the proper value into pin cell 0 register. So we are deciding this 50. Okay. If you load pin cell 0 register with 50, then automatically P0.2 and P0.3 will be set for I2C. Okay, and also we are loading the duty cycle registers, that is SCL H and SCL low, each with 150. Okay, so in this case it is 150 because we have 50% duty cycle and I2C desired frequency is 100 kilohertz. Okay, and peripheral clock is 30 megahertz. Okay, if you load these two values into our, okay, previous formula, you will get 150 and 150. Okay, that's why I have loaded these two. And the last instruction in this I2C init function is I2C 0 concept equals to 1 less than I2 enable. Okay, so here you are enabling the I2C communication. Okay, by setting. Okay, you are using set register, right? So you are setting the particular pin. Okay, I2 enable stands for sixth pin of I2 concept. Okay, I2C 0 concept. Fine. So by this instruction, you are enabling the I2C communication. So that is what I2C init. Then the next function is I2C start. Okay, I2C start is nothing but sending the start pulse. Okay, sending the start pulse. So this involves several things. First, we will make the stop pulse to be 0. What is that? I2C 0 con clear. I2C 0 con clear. What is that? 1 less than STO. STO is stop bit, fourth pin. What we are doing? Fourth pin, we are clearing it. Fourth pin, we are clearing it first. Then followed by SA bit is to be cleared. That is serial interrupt bit is to be cleared. It is set by the system. SI bit is set by the system, okay, but cleared by the programmer. Okay, so here we are clearing it. Then we are going for actual instruction, that is I2C0 conset. Okay, what is that? Stop bit is set. Stop bit is set. That means if you use this function I2C start, you are sending the stop bit. Start bit. This bit. Okay, sending the start bit. So start bit in the I2C setup. Okay, so this is the very first thing you will do, right? So once you send the start bit, followed by the address, followed by read rate, followed by data bits, and lastly stop bit. Okay, so this function is used for sending the start bit. Then we have some other delay routine. Okay, it is a fixed delay. Okay, depending upon the count value. Then we have a function for sending the data. Okay, sending the data. So when you look into this function, what is that? It is the first instruction is while loop. The first instruction is while loop, and what is that? I2C0 conset and 0x08. Okay, so here 0x08 is nothing but a status code. 0x08 is the status code. Okay, okay, so here, yeah, sorry, no, it's not the status code, but it belongs to uh, serial interrupt bit. Okay, so what we are doing here, you are doing AND operation between the 8th bit of the concept register with, sorry, 8, not 8 bit. 8 means what? 1000. I'll show you. 1000. Okay, doing ampersand with AND operation with 1000. Okay, so this 8 is nothing but this one, and this 8 must be in this. Clear? So so what you are doing here is you are examining the SI bit. Okay, you are examining the SI bit. Where is SI bit? SI bit is the 0, 1, 2, third bit. Okay, SI bit is the third bit, and you are doing AND operation with the bit 1. Okay, in the same bit position. Okay, if this results in 1, okay, if this results in 1, then when you come outside, it is a NOT operation. Okay, so this will result in 0. Okay, this will result in 0. That means what? The previous data is not yet sent. The previous data is not yet sent. Okay, so in this concept register, SI bit will be, okay, SI bit will be used for knowing whether the data has been transmitted or not. Okay, so what I told you, I'll just go back. See here, this bit is set when the I2C state changes. Okay, which bit? SI bit. Which SI bit? Yeah, this one. Okay, so 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so SI bit will be 1 whenever the data has been successfully sent. Yeah, this is where we have. So here, if the data is sent, what is that? It will result in a 1. Okay, it will result in a 1. Then it is nothing but a NOT operation, so it is 0. Okay, so while 0 means false. Okay, while 0 means false. So it will be there until the entire data has been sent. Fine. So this while loop will be repeated until the data has been sent. Okay, until it becomes, the whole expression becomes true. Clear? So once the data has been sent, you will come to this. Okay, I2C0 data is equals to data. What data? The data that is just received. Okay, the data that is to be sent. Fine. So this data will be loaded to I2C0 data register, and the next instruction is uh, making the SI bit to be cleared. Okay, making the SI bit to be cleared so that the next data can be sent. Okay, so this function will be used for sending the data. Okay, there is another function we'll use. Okay, sending the character. Okay, sending the character. So here character is nothing but what we are doing actually, we are connecting an LCD device to LBC21488. Okay, so this LCD device will have several control pins also. Okay, several control pins. You need to send proper control information. Number one. Number two, this LCD we are using in 4-bit mode, right? Okay, this LCD we are using 4-bit mode. Okay, so here, see here, this one shows you the format. Okay? So if the total bits to be sent is 8 bits, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all these 8 bits corresponds to the character. Okay, and the first four bits relate to control information, and the next 4 bits means the lowest 4 bits. Okay, will accommodate the actual data, 4 bits of the data. Okay, so that is what the character. Okay, that is what the character. So whatever the data that is to be sent, the data must be, okay, divided into two sections. Okay, one 4-bit section and second 4-bit section, and those two 4 bits must be accommodated in this lowest 4 bits of the character, lowest 4 bits of the character, because another 4 bits will carry the control information. Okay, so that is what the, okay, function of this send character. Okay, yeah. So once you go inside, so here what we are doing, we are using the function send data. Okay, send data function. So here 0x50 ordered with data. Okay, data left shifted. Okay, left shifted towards lowest 4 bits. Whatever the data that is to be sent, yeah, okay, whatever the data that is to be sent is divided into two sections. And here by this first instruction, what you are doing, you are shifting the highest 4 bits of the data to the lowest position, and you are doing OR operation with this number. Okay, this number is what, 101. 5 stands for 01010000. 0100 corresponds to control information. Okay, control information, this information, see here, this one. Okay, 0101. Okay, so RS is 1, RW is 0, and enable is 1. Okay, and this is what the data. Okay, so here 0x50 corresponds to the control bits, and data rate shifted towards lowest bit positions corresponds to actual data. Okay, so total 8 bits you are sending to this function, send data function. Okay, once you did that, again you are doing one more calling of send data function, and this time what you are doing, same data but with the 0x40. Okay, what is 40? So here 100. Okay, 0100. So here 0100. 0100. So here what you are doing is, by these two instructions you are enabling, okay, you are enabling the LCD device by first sending the high pulse followed by low pulse. Okay, 0x50 stands for high pulse, 0x40 stands for low pulse. Okay, so that is how, see the complication with this 4-bit mode. Okay, so you are sending, by these two instructions you are sending just a 4 bit of data. and another 4 bit you are sending with this. Okay, so here what you are doing, you are using the same information 0x50 followed by 0x40, but here on the data side what you are doing, you are doing AND operation with 0x0f, 0x0f. That means upper 4 bits are masked, upper 4 bits are masked, only you are sending the lower 4 bits. Okay, why upper 4 bits are masked? Because you have already sent here. Okay, so this is what the first two are sending the upper 4 bits, and the next two are sending the lower 4 bits. Okay, so this is how you will send the character. Okay, send character. Yeah, once you come to this I2C main function. Okay, so this is the actual action take place. So what you are doing, the first instruction is loading the correct slave address. So in this case 0x6e. Okay, 0x6e. Yeah, it depends upon the connection. Okay, the connection of PC of 8574. Okay, so various slave addresses are possible, so I chose this address. Then I2C data. Okay, there is one array I2C data which will accommodate MVSR. Okay, so this MVSR will be loaded to I2C data character. Then what you are doing, you are initializing the I2C and you are sending the start bit. Okay, this bit you are sending the start bit. So once you have sent the start bit, what you have to do, you have to wait until it is received by the receiver. Okay, again you are using this while loop. Okay, so this while loop is for monitoring the SI bit till it is set. Okay, until it is set, this while loop will repeat here itself. Okay, then what is that, you need to send okay, an acknowledgement pulse. Okay, an acknowledgement pulse. Before sending the acknowledgement pulse, it is mandatory to clear the stop bit and start bit. Okay, so I2C 0 constant is equals to 1 less than A means acknowledgement bit. Okay, then what is that, you need to send the slave address bit, right? Slave address will be loaded in this ADDR. Okay, that is 0x6e, right? So that is loaded to I2C 0 data register. Then also SI bit is cleared because it is previously set, right? So SI bit is cleared. Then again the SI bit is monitored for set. Okay, because you have loaded slave address with I2C 0 date, that means you are telling the microcontroller to send the slave address. Okay, once the slave address is properly sent, then an SI bit will be received. For that you are using while loop. Okay, yeah. After that, what you will do, you will read the status register whether a proper code has been received or not on the I2C0 state register. Okay, so if the status register, if the status code in status register is 0x18, what you have to understand is that, see here, what is the 0x18? You will see. So 0x18 stands for previous state was state 0x08 or 0x110. So now slave address and a read rate has been transmitted and acknowledgement has been received. Okay, so 0x a successful, okay, successful reception of 0x18 stands for slave address and the read rate information has been already transmitted. Okay, yeah. So read rate information and the slave address will both will be contained in this address variable. Okay, see here, this 0x6e, if you can understand this, you can explain this, you will understand. It will contain read rate information as well as the slave address. Okay, fine. So here if I2C0 stat contains 0x18, then do this. What is that? You send an acknowledgement pulse. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So here, yeah, I2C0 date is equals to 0x00. It is nothing but, yeah, actually this one. Okay. This one is what? Write operation. Write operation. Okay. So in the previous, yeah, this one here, ADDR will only contain slave address. Okay, will only contain slave address, and the actual read write information will be sent separately. Will be sent separately by another identical operation, but with the proper write code. Okay. Then what we will do? We will the read the status bit in the I2C0 state, and this time what is that? It is 0x28. Okay, we are examining for 0x28. What is that 0x28? We will see. So 0x28 stands for data has been transmitted, acknowledgement has been received. Okay, so some data has been transmitted here. Okay, so here the data means this information. Okay, fine. Now what is that? The next thing is, if this is so, you'll see that once again. Yeah, see here. The code also means if the transmitted data was the last byte, then transmit a stop condition. Okay, otherwise transmit the next data byte. Okay, so here the reception of 0x28 means what? You need to send the data. Okay, either you need to send the data or you need to send the stop condition. Okay, but what we are doing here, if this is 0x28, what we are doing, we are sending various amounts of data. Okay, so the following instructions: okay, send data 0x10, send data 0x00. Okay, then send data 0x12, send data 02. Okay, so all these are nothing but, if you can identify, these are nothing but LCD configuration commands. Okay, all these are LCD configuration commands. You refer to the manual, okay, to correctly interpret these commands. Okay, this is left to you. Okay, many send data functions are used because we are using 4-bit mode, right? We are using 4-bit mode. That's why you need to send two times. For each command, you need to send two times. 4-bit once, 4-bit second time. Okay. Then the actual string will be displayed. Okay. What is the actual string? That is MVSR, that is contained in I2C data array. Clear? So here we are using this one, send character function. We are using send character function, and in this we are sending the character one by one. First M, followed by V, followed by S, followed by R. Okay, so all this action will be taking place in while loop. Okay, okay, while of one means it will be displayed forever until you switch off the system. Okay, so this is what your program. Okay, and I encourage you to refer to the manual for further understanding of this program. Fine.